Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the preview show. We're going headfirst into City versus Southampton. Lads, must-win game this. I don't think I've ever known more of a must-win game in my life. It's so important we get 3 points tomorrow. I'm more nervous about tomorrow's night's match than I was against United. That gives you an idea about how nervous I am about this game. We're so on a knife edge of... if we lose or draw, I'm really worried that City are going to be rabbit in headlights to United and Leicester, and that I really don't want that. I want to get the 3 points and get as closer to this league title as much as possible. I don't even like using the word league title. I'm that nervous about it. Crikey, Cloud, what's your thoughts on the game, mate? Because as I see us coming into it, you know, Pep Guardiola's got a fully fit squad. Bernardo, Foden, Fernandinho, Aguero are amongst the players we're looking to recall. What do you think about the match?
Yeah, we definitely need a response, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on Southampton here as well. I was watching, the pre-press conference that they had, sort of thing, pre-match, and you had journalists saying, "Oh, well, they've lost 9-0 in the last 2 seasons and so," and Pep was saying this is nonsense. They were 10 men down, but I just looked up the stats of the last match. I don't normally bring these up, but just sort of looking at it, we only had 52% possession. We only had 50 more passes. The pass accuracy, there's a difference of 4%. 5 shots on target, and we only won 1-0. They aren't a team to be slept on. And I think in the last game, what stood out to me is when Danny Ings got substituted in about the 40th minute. When that happened, I think that was a huge turning point in the game for us, momentum-wise. But they're a tough team, and we need to win this. Otherwise, questions are going to be asked about the title race with us.
100%. So Danny Ings expected to be ruled out tomorrow. He's expected to be ruled out for the rest of the month. Really good striker, Danny Ings. It's going to be a shame for his international opportunities there. I think that might rule him out completely for that. But I think we just need to be selfish, and I'm glad he's not playing. I need to put that out there. I think any opportunity we've got to take 3 points tomorrow, whether it's an injury, we need to take it with both hands. What's your thoughts, Brian, on how we're going to get on?
Like Klaus said, it's a tough game. The last game we played was difficult. It kick-started the run we went on to, just ended. You never know really what you're going to get with Southampton, as some of the results have proven. So, I mean, have we smashed them once before by a good few? Was it Watford that would be? I know we've given them a few pacings over the years, but I imagine they're just starting to get over their waxing that they had. But they're going to be tough to break down. It's not the sort of game that we can take easily, especially with. I really like James Ward-Prowse. I think he's a fantastic player. Like, he's up there with dead balls, like abilities and passing as like De Bruyne is. He just isn't as fancy as De Bruyne, is he really? Can you imagine if Ward-Prowse had a bit of pace about him and a bit more of a character? You'd imagine him he'd be at one of the top 4 clubs. For me, at least, anyway.
No,
tomorrow,
I can't
it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be really tough.
I can't disagree with you about Ward-Prowse.
It's going to show us tomorrow just how much we want this league title. Because we could struggle tomorrow, maybe win the game after and limp over the line. It's whether or not now Pep's like, right, you've had your blip, forget about it, let's just crack on and business as usual.
So a word I want to use to both of you and to everyone watching is bounce back ability. We've done fantastically well, and Cloud and I mentioned to you in the Discord lads last night that we need to be incredibly proud of the run we've gone on. The City fans shouldn't be as reactionary as it's all doom and gloom. We need to be really happy with that, and we had a cracking run, and we had to lose at some point. It's just really annoying that it was against United. But can we bounce back, and are we going to put in a big performance tomorrow night? That's the biggest question.
I think so. I think we will. But nobody, in hindsight, now the game's done against United. But if we was ever going to lose against a team, it was probably going to be them. And if we was ever likely to slip up, it'd probably be the best team to lose to is somebody like that. We've lost against them and it hurts. And hopefully that's fed through the City club and they're hurting. And whether or not we even beat United in the next game, I don't think that really matters. It's a matter of rebuilding now and going on another run. So there's a blessing in disguise really for me.
from the game the other day against United, I don't want to talk about it too much because I feel like we've gone through it wax lyrical last night. There looked to be a lot of tired players around, or maybe they just weren't up for it. I don't know. Do some players need a break more than others? Are you expecting to see players get a rest tomorrow, Cloud?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Sterling's been worked into the ground. I don't think it's just so much like a recent thing. I think it's been happening for quite a while in last year. But yeah, if you remember, he was on fire for parts of last year, and then he had that dip in form where he just couldn't seem to hit the net, and the same thing's happening now. But it's not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing as well. And we do need to have that rotation. Cancelo's been fantastic. Admittedly, he was sloppy against United, but he's not been rested. Even when Walker's come in, I've seen Cancelo at left back. Zinchenko, I think, is fine. I thought he looked phenomenal. The centre-back pairings, they're being changed a bit more. Ake's fit now, which is a great help. But yeah, there does need to be absolute rotation. And then you look at the bench. You look at, I mean, we talked about this yesterday, Tom. You know, you've got Varane, you've got Foden, you've got Aguero. They're all on the bench. And there's, please, Pep, play me. Let me go on there and show you what I've got. And I don't think the last 20 minutes means as much as when you start a game. Anyone can come on 70 minutes against tired players and, you know, run around and be energetic. But you know as well as I do, Bernardo, Foden, they go on for 90 minutes. They'll run around everyone. And Aguero, being out for as long as he has, you know he wants that goal. He's got a point to prove.
Yeah, 100%. He looked a very broken figure on the sideline in the pictures, didn't he, the other day against United? It was painful to watch. For me, Bernardo and Foden have to start tomorrow. They have to start. They should have started on Sunday, but I'm not going to get into that. It'll wind me up again. They have to start. They are the two types of characters and players that both skill, both athletic, both can run for miles and miles, and they both seem to have a genuine love for City. Those two needs to be the first names on the team sheet. I'd be so surprised if they're not playing. The question I have for you, Brian, is KDB a must pick?
I think if he's fit, yeah, he has to be. I know he might look tired and that, but he's come back from an injury and stuff. But he has to play. He's our best player, and if he's fit, and if that's what it comes down to. Pep won't play players if they're not 100% recovered. So if he's recovered, he will play, regardless of how many games are in, the amount of days we play. Same with Cancelo. If he's one of those that recovers fast, he'll play. You know, if he can play for 70 minutes and give it his all, then we rest him then. But in a game like this, which it is a must-win now, we have to react and we have to bounce back. He has to start. If he's fit, he's got to start.
Ger Brown on Facebook. Hiya Ger, hiya Jay, hiya Bradley, hiya Randy, everyone on Facebook. Hello and good evening to you. Ger Brown's had a really good point. He said this has to be one of the most important games of the season tomorrow. Have to bounce back and get the win. There's 6 points available this week. Bernardo and Phil have to start. Listen, Ger, I couldn't empathise and agree with you anymore there, pal. We could go 17 points clear of United before they kick a ball this week. We need to win. We need to win tomorrow night. I can't even get my head around the prospect of drawing or losing tomorrow. I really can't handle that. I think from our point of view, we need to go into it. What are you expecting, Cloud, tomorrow? Are you expecting us to be usual, have all the possession, loads of shots on target, but no goals after the first 20-25 minutes? Or are you expecting us to go straight out the blocks and start converting chances? Because that's where we're really struggling at the minute, is getting the 2s, the 3s, the 4s that we used to be able to score.
I think it's going to depend a lot on the lineup. If I see a very similar lineup to what we saw at United, I'm going to think, okay, has much actually changed? Because we're talking about rest and rotation, we aren't seeing it. If I see a much more energetic lineup, I'm expecting to see different results. But like you said, you know, we need to win this game. A draw or a loss can't happen. You know, once is a blip, but twice is a habit sort of thing. And we need to come out, and we need to come out firing. And you know, there's an argument. Someone said to me prior to the match on Sunday, I said, I wouldn't want to see Mahrez play because of United. We need someone who can press a bit more and bring that energy. And he said, oh, but Mahrez is in the form of his life. But with that sort of logic, you'd never rotate anyone if you're on a 28 win, you know, without being beaten. But no, the kids who are dying to come on and play and run their legs off, you play them, you're gonna win the games. You're gonna take the games by the throat, and that's what we need. We've been saying it for a while. We need energy. Play them, and you know, Zinchenko, Foden, Bernardo, put them on and see what happens.
If we're looking at form, Southampton have only taken a point from 9 games at City since winning the first game of the Etihad Stadium in April 2004. Thank you to my stats. So, you know, they're going to be coming. They're going to expect a tough game. And I quite like Southampton coming to us because they don't sit back and put 10 men behind the ball. They will play football, and that can only play into our hands. It also worries me a little bit of what they could potentially do to us and the damage they could do. Am I being too negative, lads? Am I thinking too much about this game against United, or should we be genuinely concerned here?
I think you've slipped into the old the mid-90s City fan pessimistic mode. I think you have. I think that's a fair thing to think. You know, for us all, I'm the same. You know, we all had those doubts, but I don't think we got too much to worry about. You know, it's not like we capitulated and we were poor. We've lost games this season when we played well. You know, so for me, as long as we're playing well, as long as the effort's there and we're still in the same style of play where we just pass teams to death and we just keep the ball and we let the other teams run and we'll just keep the ball moving. As long as we're in that, then I don't think we have much to worry about. You know,
I've got a cracking stat for you about Wednesday night football, lads. City have won 13 consecutive Premier League matches played on a Wednesday. If that's not fate, I don't know what is. We don't want to stop breaking records this week, do we? Crikey.
See, now this is the thing now, Tom, where you say in your head, we've won 13. We're going to lose
now.
Yeah. That's it. Whereas just smash teams anyway. So.
Oh, smash teams for fun. Oh no, do you know what? I'm either going to be in. My missus is either going to be talking to me or not talking to me tomorrow night, and I can't work out which it is. for my own marriage, it's never good. Right, Sergio Aguero, lads. There's loads of people on Facebook talking about Sergio Aguero. Yes, Ryan asks you, typical Tom, typical City. That's me. I'll never change, pal. I'll never change. Even when we're 5-0 up with 2 minutes to go, I'll still be thinking, what if? Aguero, right. He's on the bench. He looked miffed the other night at not being playing on. I'm a little bit miffed when you need 2 goals. We need 1 goal, and our best striker ever is on the bench and not being played. He's got to start tomorrow night, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see, especially when you're a goal down, when you're 2 goals down as well, why you don't bring him on is beyond me. Now, I can't sit here and pretend I know, better
boys
than
and
Pep because
girls,
I don't.
welcome
But you just want to see him play.
To the preview show.
We want to see him play. He wants to play, and he's fit.
Records this week, do we?
If you don't give him a chance on the field, he's not going to be able to show you anything. He's not going to get match fitness without actually playing some games. And the 70-minute, sub here and there, it's not enough. Starting from minute 0, if he has to come off at minute 65 or so, that's fine. But in the meantime, let him get some games. He's only got so long to really show, hey, look, I'm still the same Aguero. Give me another year. I want to stay at City. I want to fight.
Yeah, he's running out of games, isn't he? He is running out of these games that he was told that, look, if you put it into us in the season, there's a contract there for you. But if he's not getting the games, then you have to worry. I think tomorrow is a massive statement if he doesn't start. He's been fit now for what, a month? Yeah. Is it a month he's been fit now?
Since what, Mönchengladbach? Is that about right?
So it's like 4 weeks. 3. So he's had 1 start, couple of cameo appearances as a sub. If he is fit, as you say, and he's ready to go tomorrow, you've got it. I'd like to imagine Jesus is probably not going to start tomorrow, given how erratic his form's been of late. So then you're left with 2 options. Do we go with a false 9, or do we go with Aguero? Now tomorrow's the proof is in the pudding. If Aguero is firing, he's fit in training, and he starts. If he's not, then you got to start saying this is steering towards the end that nobody really wants.
There's been so many rumours about pre-contract agreements with Barcelona today. Has everyone seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's got smatterings of rubbish.
It's absolute nonsense. Yeah. I can imagine they probably have had a go at him. I tried to reach out to him and ask him if he wants to come and sign there, because this new president's going to want to make a statement. But you've got to be absolutely clueless to go to Barcelona at the minute. They are in free fall.
What I would ask is, when did Laporta win the elections? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday at 8 p.m. You don't negotiate and come to a pre-contract from 8 p.m. yesterday to lunchtime. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt. When you look at it in that sort of...
You can imagine there's been conversations like, if I get the presidency, and he is like this enigmatic figure, Laporta, and he has been there, done it before. I mean, he was signed in his first tenure when he got there. There was somebody quite big. Was it Henry or someone like the first time around? It was a really big signing in Laporta's first tenure as the president, wasn't it? So he's going to want to make some sort of statement. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if a few clubs have gone to Aguero and said, "Look, how are you fixed for next season?" You know, and I would imagine that City have probably done that to high-profile players that are coming out of contract as well as most teams have. So it doesn't shock me that the rumour's there. However, I really doubt there would have been any kind of agreement, because if you put a pre-contract agreement with somebody, that means you go in, and then how do you, for instance, if he starts the next 6 games, scores 9 goals, how do you then turn around and say, "I've hit the form, I've scored the goals you want, but I'm still going"? How do you do that? You know, where's the faith in there?
It's a funny one, isn't it? I'll talk to you about the team I've put out. I think, Cloud, you had agreement with me with I think 90% of the team, particularly the front three, and Brian, I'd love you to pick it apart a little bit. I've left Sterling out, even though he's been involved in 11 goals in 16 Premier League appearances against Southampton, scoring 7 and setting up 4. I'd start Sterling from the bench tomorrow, purely because he's just not doing it for me at the moment. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't seem to be his old self. I might be looking at him in a different angle, but for me up front tomorrow, I'm going Foden, Aguero, and Torres. I think it's chance for. I think we need to give Torres and Foden. Do you remember a couple of months ago when those two played together? They just looked like they knew each other so well, and we've not seen that since, and that's really disappointing. I was really looking forward to seeing that. Brian, what's your thoughts about the front three tomorrow night? Who would you pick?
Who I'd pick? I think, honestly, right. Sterling, I think he'll start. I think Sterling will start. I think he's one of those players that will recover fast, and he'll do it in training. He's sharp. I think he'll always look sharp in training. You know, the clips you see and stuff, he just looks like he's sharp and screwed in. Yeah, we all know his end product's not always there, but I think you have to look at Sterling's contributions to this club in the last 6 years. He's up there with some of the best players in Europe. So, you know, you have to put him in. If he's fit, you have to start him. So then it comes to the question of who else drops out. I think Sterling's played well on the right-hand side. He's moved to the left and not looked so great, but he's obviously moved that way because Mahrez has come in. So if anyone's going to drop out of them wide roles, I think it'd be Mahrez for Foden. I think that for me is what I do. I stick Sterling out right, stick Foden on the left, and go with Aguero.
It's a funny one because my gut instinct is to drop KDB and Sterling straight away, but that automatically makes me think actually Pep will play him. And I thought, you know, he's going to drop Jesus as well, but I automatically think, actually, you know what, Pep will probably play him. Pep seems to be the type of manager that gives players an extra chance to go and prove themselves if they're not perform particularly well. He doesn't seem the type of player to take off players that are performing badly on match days either.
He doesn't drop players on bad form, does he? He doesn't just say, right, you've had an absolute stinker.
He's not that type of manager, is he?
You know, you don't hang him out to dry. He puts a lot of faith in him to actually say, you know what, you've got a chance here to make amends, go out and do it, and that kind of backing from a manager like Pep is obviously something that makes him produce in the end.
What's your thoughts on midfield tomorrow, lads? I've gone for Bernardo, Rodri and Gundogan, obviously leaving Kevin on the bench, but again, I think he'll play, but my gut feeling is those three. But what do you two think about that, Bernardo, Rodri and Gundogan?
Actually, I think De Bruyne starts. And I think if anyone's going to miss out on them three, I think it'll probably be Gundogan might just dip out for a game. You know, and Bernardo will come in on that side, and that gives some nice balance, left foot, right foot, defensive midfielder. I think that's the way I'd go with it. You know, so you want Bernardo's energy and tight passing in that area. We don't particularly, if we're playing with an actual genuine striker, we don't need somebody to come from that midfield to be a false nine, which would what Gundogan tends to do.
Yeah,
I would say if Guero's going to start, I think it's time to maybe say to Gundogan, just have a game off. Keep you fresh, and then we'll just roll again.
It's a funny one you mentioned that because it's starting to look that Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan can't play in the same team together, which I hope it doesn't ring true, because when Kevin was injured, I don't think any of us have seen Gundogan play so well, and that's kind of telling. That says a lot to me. What do you reckon, Cloud? Can those two play together, or is it just a case they just had a bit of a bad performance the other day? They just need a bit more time.
Yeah, I think it's confirmation bias. I think because the midfield didn't click yesterday. A lot of things a lot of statements have been made. Like we were told before that Rodri and Gundogan couldn't play together because they were both too slow. What I would say is, you don't go on a 28 unbeaten streak if your two midfielders can't work together. And we're talking about a player who last year got 39 goals and assists in a season, primarily with Gundogan playing next to him, because Bernardo didn't see much of the first team sheet. David Silva was in and out a little bit, obviously with his age, he didn't play as many minutes. So no, the skill is there. A player's form will dip and it will rise. And it's just backing him. He's just come back, from injury. He's been thrown right in at the deep end. Yeah, he had a bad night at the office, but, it's like Brian said, Pep puts faith in players when they do tend to underperform. And he'll probably say to Kevin, look, you had a bad night, come back stronger, show me in training. We're going to start this right. We're going to start winning again. We're going to go back to old ways. And I know your form's going to come back.
I imagine De Bruyne this last couple of days in training has been bang at it. He was a bit subpar. His passing's been a bit off. He's just that small percent away from putting off his crisp forward pass. He's just a bit off, and that comes with, tiredness and coming back from injury. And sometimes I think it comes down to the fact that he's just been unbelievable, and not every single time these passes will come off.
What we have, and we're lucky enough to have in our squad, is a raft of winners, absolute winners. And we've got some people that haven't won that have come in. We've got some people that have been in the team for years and won almost everything there is to win. Those players will not be, if they're going into work on Monday and today into training, and they're not fuming with themselves and absolutely focused on absolutely smashing Southampton, there's going to be something massively wrong with that team. And I'm sure they will be. I bet they've never had 2 days training work so hard. I'm sure Pep's been on them, but I don't think he'd be needed. They'll be
already said it. Yeah, he said it.
Did he? What did he say?
He said the first day they had the right ump. They've had the right ump in training. And then he said today they were absolutely on fire.
Perfect. Yeah, that's all the response we want. As long as they're absolutely.
They were his words. They were his words. They were on fire.
I've missed that.
Passionate F. Yeah.
He's passionate F. I love that. Fire. I love his accent. It's great. Oh, amazing. Well, that's exactly what I need to hear. That's all I want. I don't mind us losing.
Yeah.
As long as there's that bounce back ability and we hit them hard tomorrow night. That's really important for me.
He did kind of criticise him a little bit, if I'm honest.
Tell me.
Conference. He did say, he said, when you come into work Monday, or the first day, he said, you should be putting that behind you. You shouldn't be sad straight away. You should just move on to the next game. And he had a day where he basically said for the Monday, they all had the ump, and he's saying you shouldn't have the ump. You should be trying to focus on the next game. But then he's obviously countered that by saying, actually, today they were up there. So I think it's kind of like a public criticism of it. Oh yeah, you should not dwell on it, sort of thing, for too long. Yeah. Just try and switch off on that. He's probably trying to get that into him, but if you talk about it in out there in the third person, his opinion, what should happen, it might be just another way of trying to get into him and say, "Let's just put it behind you. We lost."
He's so clever though, isn't he? He'll be psychologically playing with them and toying with them. But again, they're all winners. They should all be captains on that pitch. They should all be playing with themselves mentally and going, right, okay, we need to win this, and absolutely 100% focused on getting the 3 points. And I've mentioned many a time that City have struggled to get out of the second and third gear sometimes and go and really kill games off. We need to be coming straight into this game and gear 4, 5, straight into him, absolutely smash him as much as we can, and then straight into Fulham on Saturday, I think it is, Saturday or Sunday? Saturday, I think we'll play Fulham. And then same again, bang, bang, bang. I really hope that's what happens. I'm going to come on in a minute to score predictions, but let's just finish off with defence. I thought Zinchenko had a belting game. I think Cancelo needs a rest, even though I was really disappointed with him on Sunday. But again, understandable. Stones and Diaz, I would start. However, I get a feeling Stones will be dropped for Laporte. But, Cloud, I'll come to you first. What's your thoughts on the defence and who will play?
I would probably drop Diaz, not because he's been subpar in any way. He's phenomenal.
Really?
I would start Stones with Laporte or Stones with Ake. I don't know which of those two will start. Probably Laporte. I know there's been some people saying Ake should come in at left back, but Zinchenko, for me, the way that he's playing lately and the effort is key. The effort he's putting in, he's earned his place. If he starts looking tired, that's absolutely fine. But at the moment, he looks phenomenal. So I wouldn't try anyone else in that left back right now. But yeah, I think Diaz needs a bit of a rest. Maybe he'll play because of his personality. He's got a fantastic personality and an impact in that back line. But yeah, there needs to be a bit of rotation there. And I want to see Laporte and Stones play together a bit more, just so they can build that chemistry. I think that's something that's very underrated in centre-back partnerships, which is building the chemistry. When I think of the top teams over the years, you could name the centre-back pairing they had, and usually they were both quite good because of how they work together. And I think we need to get Laporte involved a bit more, just in case that, touch wood, doesn't happen, Diaz becomes injured later down the road.
Stones was phenomenal, wasn't he, against United? Man of the match performance, I believe. He was given man of the match anyway. I thought it was amazing. I agree with you there to an extent. I think it would be good to see them two partner together, but I don't know if it's too early to see that. I think this is too much of a critical game to drop Diaz. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. What do you think, Brian?
In an ideal scenario, you know, if you would love to just give Diaz a rest, but I think he, if he's one of those players now that if he's fit and he's recovered and he starts, he's literally, he's that part of that. He is the spine now. He's come in. He's the spine with Ederson. He's the spine with Rodri. You know, and he's the spine with Kevin De Bruyne. It's sort of like doesn't go to a centre forward anymore. But that's the spine now of the team. Those four. But like I say, in an ideal scenario, I would absolutely give Laporte and Stones a game. But I think it'll just be Diaz will come in. Diaz will go in, and then Laporte will come in next to him, and then I still think he'll go with Cancelo because Cancelo is one of those that he just recovers. You know, and he's gonna, the way Pep plays, he wants those inverted fullbacks. So
where would you play Cancelo, left or right?
Right, I'll play him on the right, and then Zinchenko on the left. And I don't think that's. And I don't say that because I don't trust Kyle Walker. I just think at the moment Cancelo is consistent. He offers more in that inverted midfielder, winger, right back, where he is in that role. And we're gonna need tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Thursday. We're gonna need ball in the midfield, and we're gonna need to pass teams to death. And I think for that reason, that I'd be more than happy to see Cancelo start there and Zinchenko on the opposite side, and then that's the two banks of two basically going into the midfield.
Right. Come on, City. I'm up for this. We'll leave you here, lads. We'll just do score predictions before we go. Everyone on Facebook, let us know what score you think it's going to be. Neil Horrell, 5-0 City. Gundogan's going to score first. Brian, what's your thinking score-wise, pal?
What did Pep say? 18-0?
Yeah,
in his press conference.
That's more like a Dan Fielding comment, that, isn't it?
I think 18's a lot. I don't even think he could score that many goals in a game of FIFA. I'm going to say it's just going to... The way we play is it's going to be high tempo, a lot of possession as always. It all comes down to whether or not he plays a false nine or a proper centre forward. I think goal early doors, settle the nerves, cruise 3-0.
3-0.
With an Aguero contribution in some way.
Oh, I like that. Jay Mangan agrees with you, 3-0. Andy Hutchinson's going 4-0. Come on, Cloud, what are you thinking, pal?
Yeah, I think 3-0. I think we'll get a goal in the first half. I think we'll get another one early on in the second half. And then I think we'll score a late goal as well for the third and wrap it up.
Amazing. Listen, I love this positivity. I've got a positive... Do you know what this half an hour is like a session? A session for
Therapy.
me. Therapy for me. I love this. I'm up for this now. Come on. We're doing a live tomorrow night, lads. I hope you can watch it and take part if you want to. YouTube, by all means. Everyone else on Facebook. We're starting off at 5:45, the 6 o'clock kickoff. I think that's right, isn't it? 6 o'clock tomorrow night kickoff.
I think so.
Yeah, Neil. Now Donovan 4-0. Foden first goal. That'd be nice. Set us on a good track. Right, lads. Love you and leave you. That's a quick half an hour. Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you everyone for watching. We'll speak soon, boys.
See you later.
Speak soon.
Catch you later.